I'm gonna use my inner voice because my son is like literally like right here asleep. So I'm not gonna talk that loud. But this is gonna be a story time on how I went into labor on Thanksgiving night. Okay, so let's see. Where did I even start? Oh, guys, also, you guys see this acne, don't mind it. I forgot my foundation at my mom's house, and I don't have anything with me right now to currently cover this up. So let's just act like we don't see that. Okay. My Thanksgiving was the typical Thanksgiving. I picked out, I ate plate after plate. I believe what brought me into labor though is, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, on Thanksgiving, I don't know why, but I really was just craving 7 Up. Like, I wasn't even craving it, like I just wanted it. I didn't really want water, I didn't want juice, I just wanted 7 Up. I was drinking like cup after cup. I dang near finished like the whole bottle by myself. And so I was drinking cup after cup, and I remember before I left my mother's house, I was like, because my son was due December 10th. And I remember leaving my mom's house and was like, Mom, I don't think he's going to come on December 10th. I think he's going to come late. So then my mom was like, yeah, I have a feeling too that he's going to come late. I went home, got comfortable, and was just laying down. And then I remember, y'all, I kept having these sharp pains. These pains were so sharp that it was, I don't know, it was one of those pains, like, if you're pregnant, you might not understand, but if you've been pregnant before, like, well, not even if you've been pregnant before, but when you're pregnant, like, you get, like, these body aches, and it becomes normal after a while. I remember I just kept having these body cramps as I was laying down. I'm like, yo, like, what the heck? Like, y'all, I could not get comfortable for nothing. Like, I tossed, I turned, and I just could not get comfortable. And I'm like, yo, like, what is going on right now? Like, what the heck? So I remember, y'all, I got up and I went to the bathroom. I didn't even have to use the bathroom, y'all. I'm just one of those type of people, like if my body is like really uncomfortable, like I just go to the bathroom. Like, that's like my go-to for everything. Like, oh, your stomach hurt, go to the bathroom. Oh, you don't feel good, go to the bathroom. So that's what I did. Like, I went to the bathroom, and when I went, I seen blood. Now, my nurse, she didn't really tell me too much about like a bloody show, mucus plug. Like, she never really, like, the doctor I went to, like, they just expected you to just know like a lot of stuff already. And with this being my first child, I really didn't know much. Like, my mom was the one who educated me about a lot of stuff. So yeah, I remember I went to the bathroom, and I remember I seen blood. So, and I remember my mom always said, if you see blood, go to the doctor regardless. So I went to the doctor. So y'all, I was like, at this time, I wasn't having contractions. I was home alone. So I didn't have a choice really but to drive myself to the hospital. Like, I knew, like, calling someone, I would have had to wait like extra 15 minutes. And y'all, I was panicking. So I was like, no, like, I'm taking myself. Like, I don't have time to wait for anyone. So yeah, that's what I had did. I had drove myself to the hospital, and I remember, y'all, I had grabbed my hospital bag and I had grabbed my son's hospital bag, because here's the thing, I was gonna do a what's in my hospital bag video, but I never got a chance to do it because, as you can see, like, I went into labor. So I remember I grabbed both of our bags, and I went to the ER, and they were like, oh, you're labor and delivery. How many weeks are you? And I was like 38. And they was like, oh, okay, now you got to go to labor and delivery. So I went to labor and delivery. They asked me a few questions, took my blood temperature, whoop the whoop. And after that, what happened after that? I sat in the bed, and I remember I had contacted everyone, like, I think I'm going into labor. And I remember my dad was like the first one up there, and he was like, he sat with me almost like the entire time. But like I said, my contractions was not that bad. So after a few hours had went by, I was like, you know, Dad, like, you could leave if you want, like, you know, because the nurse told me, she was like, in order for us to admit you, you have to be 4 centimeters dilated. Y'all, guess how many centimeters I was? I was 3.5 centimeters dilated, okay? And I'm looking at her like, you cannot be serious right now. Like, what? So I just had a feeling I wasn't going to get admitted that night. So I was like, Dad, you know, you could leave. And my dad ended up leaving. So I remember it got closer to the morning and my boyfriend came and he was like, you know, how you're feeling, blah, blah, blah. But by the time he got there, like, they did one more check to see how far I dilated, and I was still 3.5. So they was like, you know, go home, relax, da da da, because who knows, you might stay at 3.5. Y'all, I knew I wasn't gonna stay at 3.5. Like, I was really like having contractions. So I went home. Like, I tried to sleep through it. I couldn't. I tried to you know, well, I was able to sleep through it sort of, like when I first got home, because I went into labor at 2 in the morning. So when I got home, it was like 8, 9 in the morning. So y'all, I was like done, okay? Like, I was tired. So I went home. I took a nap. And I remember the nurse was like, you know, drink a lot of water to soothe your cramp. And my contractions really, really, really didn't start getting bad probably until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, well, in the evening. When my contractions got bad, I remember I told my mom, and my mom was not believing me. She was like, you know, all they gonna do probably is send you back home because you probably didn't even dilate. But y'all, I know my body. Like, I knew, like, the contractions at this point, it was so bad that I couldn't even talk through my contractions. Like, each time I had a contraction, like, I just froze. I was just like, hold up, wait, stop talking to me, hold up. I could not talk through my contractions at all. Like, it's one of those pains where you don't even want to cry. Like, you just want to just sit there and just wait for it to just go on through. So that's what happened. And let's see, I remember I had went up to the hospital. I remember I was sitting in a room, and I remember the nurse I had, she was so cool. Like, she was mad cool. She had brought me a exercise ball to get me to dilate more. But they didn't know how far I had dilated. She just brought me an exercise ball so I could stay that night, you know. So she, and not to mention too, y'all, I went back to the ER that night at 2 a.m. So this is a whole new so this is basically 24 hours, y'all, and I'm probably going off of like 3 hours of sleep from that little nap. So yeah, so she brought me a little ball or whatever, and I was bouncing on it. Like I said, it was helping my contractions, but not really. So yeah, so they checked and they were like, oh, okay, you know, you're 4 centimeters, we're gonna admit you. Y'all, I was so happy because I just wanted those contractions to go away, and I was ready to meet my son. So I was like, yes, 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 let's get this show on the road. Let's go. So that's what happened. I got admitted. Y'all, they put me in this cold room. Okay, y'all, this room was freaking freezing. Like, I know I'm anemic, but y'all, everyone who came to you know, why I pushed was like, yo, this room is freaking freezing. So like, it was so cold in that room. But before, like, I'm skipping ahead, but with the contractions, y'all, I ended up getting an epidural at 6 centimeters dilated. And to be honest, I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why I got epidural is because I wanted to sleep. I was so freaking exhausted, y'all. I tried to take a nap, and y'all, the contractions were so strong, I could not nap. I was like, oh my God, like, I want to go to sleep. So I remember the nurse came in and they were like, you know, you're 6 centimeters. And I remember they told me, they were like, you know, don't wait too late to get one because you may not be able to get one. So I was like, okay, I want the epidural. So they gave me the epidural. And as I'm laying there, y'all, everyone who's you know, coming up there so I could push, like all my family, my boyfriend and his family, whatever, they start coming up there. Oh, and my best friend came up there. And I'm laying there and I'm like y'all, they came in literally like, I think while they were doing the epidural, matter of fact. Yeah, they came in while they were doing the epidural. Because I remember when my boyfriend came in, they were like, sir, can you step out the room? Like, we're trying to, you know, give her this epidural. So he stepped out. But yeah, y'all, they came in while I was getting my epidural. So just to make that short, I did not end up getting any sleep, okay? I had a whole room full of people, and I really just wanted to sleep. But that's for another video. So yeah, y'all, I started to dilate really, really fast. Like, I want to say within like the next 45 minutes they came back. Well, no, not in the next 45, but I want to say like within the next like hour and a half they came back, y'all, and I was 9 centimeters dilated. And then they came back again, I was 10 centimeters dilated. I just know everything went by really, really, really fast once I got my epidural. So they were like, you know, it's time to push. And y'all, I'm one of those type of people, I'm only afraid of stuff, I'm only afraid of the unknown. So with me knowing I had to push my son out, I was not afraid. Like, you know how so many people like, oh, are you afraid to give birth? Me chilling by myself, I was not afraid, okay? Only time I became afraid is when people started to like put crap in my head, like, oh my God, it's so bad. Y'all, let me tell y'all, my delivery was not bad at all, because that's how strong my epidural was. Like, my epidural was so strong that I could not feel anything. And I'm not even over exaggerating. I couldn't feel anything. Like, I could feel, when it was time for me to push, I could feel him like, well, I could feel my son's head, like, you know, stuck a little bit. And they were like, push, you know, we see his head, we see his head. And I want to say pushing wise, it literally only took like 15 minutes to push my son out. And like I said, a lot of that got to do with the epidural. Like I said, I did not feel a thing. And a part of me wished that I did, but a part of me is like, you know. But like I said, I know I pushed my son out, and with me, like I said, I felt him, I felt pressure, but it wasn't pain. I pushed him out, and y'all, I remember while I was pushing, like, I just busted out crying, and it wasn't from pain. It was just one of those things where it just hit me like, oh my God, like, I'm about to deliver my son. Like, oh my God. So yeah, I busted out crying while I was pushing. And I remember everyone was like, Amber, it's okay, it's okay. And I don't know, like, I remember, you know, I just pushed him out, and it was a feeling that I never ever in my life felt before. Like, it was a different feeling. I remember, you know, they put him on my chest. So I'm about to get emotional. I remember they put him on my chest so we could do, you know, skin to skin. And I remember, you know, his cry, you know, everything. I don't know, y'all. It was a beautiful moment. I'm not trying to get emotional on camera, but it was really, like, you know, a beautiful moment that I'll never, ever, ever forget. Like I said, I was so, because, like, throughout my pregnancy, I never really got a clear photo of my ultrasound for his face. So it was really my first time seeing him. And I remember, like I remember when I first seen him, like, lay there, I was like, oh my God, like, he is so handsome. Like, my son looks just like his father. So, well, not just like he has some of my features, but it's just one of those things where when I first seen him, I was like, oh my God, like, this is my son. Like, he is so handsome. But yeah, y'all, that is my labor and delivery story. I hope I didn't make it too long for you guys. If you watched all the way to the end, thanks. What was I about to say? Oh, and for everyone that's asking, what is my son's name? My son's name is Rain Karan Oaks. So yeah, if you guys like this video, don't forget to subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll be back with you soon with another video. So peace.